incredible panel right now. I want to start off with because you guys do all complex things, and I'm a moron journalist, so I want to understand. So start by telling me what your company does in like a tweet length summary, and make it simple so I can understand it. Rowan, you're next to me, so you go first.
I'll go first. I'm the founder of Rundown. It's the largest AI newsletter in the world, and we educate people on how to use AI in 5 minutes a day. Our mission is to upskill 1 billion knowledge workers to work at least 10% faster, and yeah, that's our goal.
Perfect. Chase?
Super. We educate people here in the state of Ohio and around the nation using AI skills, and we do that in person. It's our job to be the AI experts in the room, but to allow all these people in all these different industries to leverage that in whatever they do.
Very cool. Kiara?
I'm co-founder and CTO of Chima. We're an applied AI research lab backed by YC, Elad Gil, Peter Thiel, Michael Dowell, and we essentially put together generative AI worlds for enterprises.
And Kiara's going to help me with my social media because they can have all the machines do that. So I'm psyched. So first off, let's start this conversation with, our focus here is the future of work. What are you guys seeing right now that's changing? Everyone's talking about either a doomsday scenario where everyone has no jobs, or like a utopia. Like, where are we right now in kind of the AI and work changing mode? Rowan, I know you're living this every day. Kick us off, and I want to hear everyone's opinions.
Yeah, I mean, there's no being around it. Things are definitely changing, but I think fundamentally as an educator, it's an education problem. So there's a lot of fear that's going into everything, and I think that right now, AI is the great democratizer. Anyone who didn't know how to code can now code. They can build their apps. If you look back in history, how many really talented designers could have never been designers because they didn't learn Photoshop? Or how many talented writers could have never been writers because they didn't know how to write, for example? And same thing is happening with internet skills. So anyone can create apps. Anyone can market. Anyone can learn how to do these skills using AI. And I think we need to reframe it as a education problem rather than a fear.
Oh, very cool. What are you teaching in your classes?
Sure. I think a lot of it's interesting in a sense. I think this was given the word the AI revolution. And I think that's justified. I'm an engineer. I come from an engineering background, and so I understand at the bottom of this are transistors flipping switches to create emergent properties, fundamentally through algorithms that then allow people to take advantage of those. The big difference, let's say, November of 2022 to now, is that everybody has the ability to control machines with their words, right? That's the step change. That's what's breaking this out of, hey, you're an engineer, you can do these great technical things, to now everybody can do these incredibly cool things as solutions builders, right? Building solutions, solving problems. That's what I'm seeing.
I think what we're seeing is workplaces being flooded with AI slop, but we're also seeing the general usage and productivity of people completely changing, because previously where it was you being able to pen something or write an email, now it's how can you interact with a tool, ChatGPT or Claude, to write that email. So the actual sort of muscle to be able to be productive in the workplace is completely changing. It's how can you prompt the model to be able to get an output to get you further, and how can you prompt it so that it feels like you, so that it sounds like you, so it doesn't sound like your coworker or with an M dash, or sounds like something that you would do pre-AI as well.
I always used M dashes, and now M dashes are getting a bad rap, and I gotta figure this out, because I'm loyal to the M dash, but I'm like, do I use a comma now? Do I use something else?
Keep the M dash.
Keep the M dash, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they'll know my writing because it's so bad that a machine would not have done that. So that is good. What is the? I want to say, how many people out here use AI every day? Okay. How many people out here are using AI instead of Google searches? Okay, that's scary. Interesting. Very cool. From the media spot. What is the hype? What out there is hype right now, and what out there is real?
Well, I mean, in terms of use cases,
Yeah.
I think what we're seeing right now is coding models are really good at coding. So coding is where things are taking off. We're starting to see the design really taking off. So I don't know if you've seen Nano Banana, but it's Nano Banana by Google.
Okay.
So it's a basically image generator that also can edit images, so it can edit specific parts of your image. So we're starting to see new technologies for every single industry. But yeah, we're still very early on. The agents aren't fully here yet. The agents were promised for 2025, for those that don't know. So it's like autonomous agents that can do real-world work. And they're not fully here yet, but they're coming. We're starting to see it early on with code. But yeah, things are undoubtedly changing.
Sure. Hype, as far as I'm concerned, is anything that you can't necessarily put your hands on right now, right? I mean, hype is something that can be a distraction, either positively or negatively. What we really focus on are trying to find where AI works and where it doesn't work, right? Because we hear, you know, the market is crashing, there's a lot of slop, bad things are coming, all this good stuff, noise. How are you using it? How are you going to continue to use it? Almost everybody in here raised their hands to do what you do even better. You know, it's a matter of staying focused on your work outcomes, increasing those. Like you said, how do you make it a voice that's pre-AI? How do we control quality for ourselves and our work output? And really, let's not go down a lot of the rabbit holes when it comes to anything else, as far as I'm concerned.
Very cool. Kiara, you're on the cutting edge of this. What do you see as transformative, and what do you see as people are just, again, like Trey said, making noise?
So I think, as Rowan mentioned, there's sort of the age of the agent. But apart from that, I also think that AI isn't going to expand our approximately 7 hours of daily digital engagement. It's going to compete with that time that we already invest until we have sort of AI native devices or neural implants. What that means is that it's essentially going to compete for the time that you already spend. So it is different to the mobile era because mobile created new minutes. AI is trying to steal the existing ones that you have. So that means that everything that you see, whether it be through Meta's AI feed or through AI slop on TikTok, is trying to take the time away from other things. And so that also means that how you interact with AI is going to be so immersive in every sort of platform that you use that it is trying to grab your attention in every way. So how you invest your attention, what you watch, what you consume, is going to be more important now than ever.
Talking about careers, I heard, there was a statement I heard that I liked that was saying, you don't have to worry about AI taking your job. You have to worry about a human who's using AI taking your job. Do you guys agree with that? Or is that just, again, just a cute little phrase and we should be very worried about AI taking jobs?
I think it's generally accurate. I did a quick 5-minute talk yesterday on AI intuition, which I think is like this new emerging skill. I think there's these meta skills that are kind of emerging. And AI intuition is one that's really important, which is the skill of knowing when and when not to use AI. So AI slop is obviously pretty bad right now. And it's because this, you know, people are getting forced AI use in the workplace. And there's pros and cons, right? We're seeing these massive productivity gains, and you can really use AI as a superpower in so many different ways already. But on the other hand, if you're using it for things like, you know, slop on TikTok or LinkedIn comments or like responding to emails when it could have been just like a bullet point, that's not productive, right? So like no one's teaching that aspect of it, and I think, yeah, to your point, like I think AI intuition is a skill that needs to be learned, and then also like learning how to learn is another skill that should be learned, and there's just new skills that are evolving, and generally, if you're not keeping up with things, then you know people who are developing these meta skills will be ahead in this next era.
So I want to hear everyone, but I want to dive in what you said about AI slop and generative creation. You fascinated me, Rowan, because you talked about how you use AI to be at two places at once and to create your Instagram and TikTok videos with an avatar. Tell everyone just really quick what goes on there.
Really quick. Okay. So basically, I'm a writer first. I write a big newsletter, and I'm also a founder. So I run 15 people on my team, and it's really hard. I work like 80 hours a week, and my entire audience was saying, "Hey, can you create short form video?" And it's obvious we should be also turning my writing into short form video, but I never had time to do the video. So we ran these experiments. We were very open that we're going to try this, and we're the forefront of AI education. So we basically said, hey, we're going to use an AI avatar, my face and my voice, and we're basically going to take my writing as a script. We're going to push that into the avatar, and we're going to create these reels and see what happens. It's not even a year later, and we're over 150,000 followers on Instagram. And yeah, I mean, it's a pretty cool workflow because it allows me to create content while I'm sitting here. My editor can basically keep pushing that content while I'm in multiple places at once, or while I can source more stories and do writing, do what I'm good at. I'm not that great in front of camera, so my avatar's a lot better. So ultimately, it's like we're producing better content using AI. And another point is it's not click to generate. This is not simple to do. It still takes my editor like 3 to 4 hours to put everything together, but it scales my time as a founder, right? Even though like recording a video would only take a few minutes a day, that alone, like doing my hair and getting in front of the camera, that alone takes time away from me being a founder. So this basically allows us to scale our company faster. But it's a niche workflow, but I think people find it pretty cool.
Let me see. He's real. This is not an avatar.
This is the real.
The real flesh and blood. Trace, what about you? What are you thinking about jobs? Job evolution, job destruction?
Yeah, watching this technology come into let's say, society at large, right? We all have the ability to interact with this technology just using our words, has opened up, let's say, this opportunity on one hand that is just incredible, right? I mean, to your point earlier about 10% efficiency across the society, I mean, if we could do that just in the state of Ohio, where we have 5.5 million working people, it would be like creating 550,000 jobs overnight, right? No more, no wider roads, solves a bit of the housing issue, water infrastructure, all this good stuff. And then you say, okay, well, then what about those 500,000 people that no longer need to be hired, right? I mean, this is the work that Jobs Ohio is working on, bringing in the Intels, bringing in the Joby Aviations, bringing in Anduril, bringing in Honda EV, because we don't have enough people to do this work. Right? So AI is an opportunity to do that. And then don't even get me started on how when we as humans consider things a problem, our ability to solve that problem is just unbelievable. Look at what we did during COVID, right? If we identify a problem that affects all of us, like AI, we come together in really incredible ways, right? And we take care of the problem. We really and truly do. I mean, it's a tough democratic process to take care of problems, but we have the mechanisms to do that. So job creation, not a job loss. Different jobs, sure, but everybody's still here and doing things better. And I have a lot of faith in our capabilities.
I love that.
To that point, sorry to interrupt. To that point, I think if you told a farmer 50 years ago, there'd be 1 billion knowledge workers sitting in front of a desk, like doing marketing, coding, like they would not understand, right? And it's the same thing that's happening now, where there's so many jobs that will be created, we just don't see them. So what you can do now is like build these meta skills and stay up to date and actually really use these tools in your job. But there will be so much opportunity coming, and I think that's a really good point you made.
Well, Kiara, your company works with some of the biggest corporations out there. What are they seeing in AI, and what are you telling what are you building for them, and what are you advising them?
I think realistically, anything that was previously a piece of knowledge work like customer service or support or basic paperwork is being replaced. It can be done more efficiently through agentic processes or workflows, but what that also means is that many of those individuals that were involved in those processes can now do or expand other areas of business. But what that also means is that if you're entering the workforce right now, being able to understand what those areas are that you can expand and add most impact to are going to be way more helpful than trying to enter a space that is being replaced, because we are seeing thousands of jobs get taken away for customer support, customer success, and be replaced with agentic workflows. So much so that it is different in software engineering, because sort of coding co-pilots or agents are making engineers even more productive, which means that the expansion of software itself is increasing. We just couldn't code as much as we could now. So there are different things that just allow us to do more and add more to society.
This is moving, AI is moving so fast, and I heard another great line that like if someone tells you they know what's happening in AI and where it's going, they're just lying to you, because it's like every week it's something new. How, the three of you as being on like the cutting edge of AI, how do you educate yourselves? How do you stay current and without falling in that rabbit hole? I mean, I know that's part of your business, but like I'd love to hear how like all of you, like what do you read, who do you listen to, just like how are you staying current? Here, how do you, what's your
So as we sit today, yesterday Anthropic just released Claude 4.5 Sonnet, which is better than Opus 4.1. So if you haven't used it yet, you're probably already a bit behind. If you don't have thoughts about the model compared to what it was 2 days ago, you're pretty, a little bit behind. And so the pace of innovation is happening so fast that if you're not consistently staying up to date with everything being released right now, you're probably already behind. But what that also means is that there's probably never a better time to be reading and to be engaged in the space than it is today, because so many things are happening that your chance to contribute and to learn and to be able to create things is probably the best time today than ever. Also, you can subscribe to newsletters like Rowan's.
Yeah, Kiara, when you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you check for AI news?
My newsletters.
I'm sorry?
Newsletters on AI. I like that and Twitter.
Okay.
So it's, and you can also sort of like find a number of research papers, but generally the sort of frontier labs that have just either released something or have shared a different like protocol is pretty important to keep up to date with.
Trace, how about you? What's your first read in the morning after Forbes? What do you read next?
Let's see, first read. That's not happening a lot now because, as you know, I have a 3-week-old.
Yes, congratulations.
So not a lot of that going on. But I will share on how I make decisions on what AI is useful. I get exposure to a lot of people who have done something with the technology, who are able to share, I use this tool, this workflow, this, and I accomplish this now, right? My life is better because of this. Those are the end of the rainbow outcomes that I pay attention to. And there's a place for all of this, right? Without someone hearing about the new technology from a newsletter or a publication, without someone going to try it, without them fitting it into their workflow, I mean, from notification through training to actualization and impact, but I really like to listen to people and how it is they're using the technology. That declutters the space, it focuses on impact, and it's really enjoyable, too.
Love it. We're going to take us home because you have a whole newsroom based on AI news, and you have a very unique way of staying up to date. Tell everyone how that works.
Yeah, so if people don't know, I run the rundown. Every single day we produce a 5-minute newsletter on everything happening on AI and how you can implement to your work, business, or life. And because of that, we have to be very up to date with things. Speed is really our moat. So everyone always asks this question, and they think we have like these detailed RSS feeds, or we have all these crazy things. The truth is, most of the breaking AI news that's happening is all on Twitter or X. That's where things start. And then from there, it goes to the newsletters, it goes to the articles, it goes to LinkedIn, Instagram, etc. But like, there are research breakthroughs that happen on Twitter first before kind of anything else. Outside of that, another thing I can recommend is like, anytime you see a headline, create a new Slack channel with your team. Just drop it in there and like just gossip. Like just like talk with your team about like what's their thoughts on this. Get like really, really raw thoughts on like, is this useful? Can we use this? what's next, that sort of stuff. And just like engaging with your team is really useful. So we do that as well. We have like a whole Slack channel, and we just like kind of gossip about the news, and it's a lot of fun. And of course, like group chats, engage your family, friends, and if you can, surround yourself with people who are interested in AI. That's the best way, in my opinion, to just keep up with news and actually like learn and understand why it's important.
I love it. I love how all three of you have like a human-based research center ethic, which is really, it's hopeful. It's really good. Well, I want to thank everyone for this great insight. Thank you all. Really appreciate it. And best of luck.
Thank you.
Here we go.
Thanks up top, too.
It's not
Thanks.
really enjoyable to